Howdy, Cowboys fans. It's your boy DMV. It's the first day of mini camp. Let's get it hype. We got some notes to discuss. We got some negotiations to discuss. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Turn the pressure up. I don't quit. I don't fold under pressure. I'm the best, and I know I'm the best. And you know I'm the best.
So when I first saw this, I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. Jerry about the used car salesman trying to negotiate with him like he tried to do with Dez. When you try and get people to sign for cheap and this and that and really ultimately this was cleared up after practice. It was cleared up by the reporters. Our guys, our staff, the people who cover this team, they do a really good job of asking some questions when we need to know the answers to them. Sometimes I think things can get a little bit redundant, but I think that they did a very good job of just going right and directly to it. So we're going to listen to Micah talk about it.
You and Jerry talked for what looked to be about 28, 30 minutes. What was that discussion like? And can you tell us a little bit about what you guys talked about?
Yeah, we were talking about how my off-season's been, the training I've been putting in, and he told me I looked pretty good, so I got excited about that. Asked me about the trip I just went on, and it was a pretty good conversation. And then obviously, just stepping up and being a leader, how much he appreciates I'm here, and that means a lot to me.
How hopeful are you to get a deal done before you go to Oxnard?
I'm pretty hopeful. I'm still, hanging tight. Like, I understand it's up to him, and he gives the green light on everything. So hopefully something's done, by next month.
How do you avoid getting anxious as this thing starts to drag on a little bit?
I just keep on working. At the end of the day, man, I still love football. I think it's still about football. I understand the business side always kind of creeps in every couple of years in the football world, but I just keep it about football.
Damn, y'all. Podcast Micah grew up, right? The guy that we kill for having a podcast, the guy that we kill for being able to live his life, the guy that we watch work harder, probably harder than everybody. That guy, the guy that probably led with wanting to start the culture. The guy who said that before culture became a buzzword, right? That guy. And he's here at minicamp where you're watching some of the other veterans, and he talked about it later on in the interview, how some of those guys, you're looking at the TJ Watts who holding out a minicamp over with his team, and you look and he's like, well, hey, those guys are already, they're working on their third deals and stuff like that. And for me, I gotta be able to put my stamp in what this team is right now. So I gotta be here. I thought that was major. I thought that was major from him, us hearing that. And I also thought that the Cowboys and Micah did a very good job of really jumping out in front because, you see the pictures of him and Jerry and you could just misconstrue that. I know I was ready to do that. I was really ready. I promise while I was making this video, like I saw the picture and that's what I was going to do. And then I saw that the interview popped up and I listened to it and I was like, damn. It wasn't bad. There was no contract talk or anything like that. That Micah made that very clear. And it is in Jerry's boat. You know what I'm saying? It is up to them to call the agent and make the things happen, right? All of those things are true, and Micah talked about that. But I thought that it was important that Jerry, that Brian, they let Micah know that they really do appreciate him because I appreciate him. There's also some other things in his leadership that I appreciate, and I'm going to jump into that too. So I can't help but feel like what he's talking about is a big shot at the leadership in the past on this team. And I think that, ultimately sometimes, being a young guy, you can kind of look at leadership coming in, especially when you're talented, especially probably when you're out producing some of these old guys. And when you're coming into a situation where the team isn't having the success or hasn't had the postseason success, and you're looking at the longevity and how things have been going, And you know, as a young guy, when it's your turn, the things that you're gonna do and you're gonna implement and how you're gonna put those things in place. And I can't help but feel like this was a shot at D-Law being here. And if you keep hearing these guys, they keep kind of iterating certain things about how they want to move forward, and I can't help but feel that. And when I looked and read, Patrick No C's tweet, because that's what I saw first. And when I read it, and then I watched and saw what the young boy Donovan Ezeraku was talking about and how he feels like everything is equal, and Micah's talking about hustle and everybody got to hustle. And if I'm not hustling, then you tell me. And then I think about them arguing on the bench and him telling Micah to shut the F up and all that type of stuff. And then you see him go out the door. Like, I can't help but feel like Micah wants to help create an environment. We keep talking about culture, but there's also a word that I'm thinking about: accountability. So with his leadership, they also want some accountability there as well. And so I just thought that was very interesting. Okay, so now let's talk about some notes. Kyle Humans had some practice one notes. Dak and Pickens' connection was active. Most action took place underneath, making it tough on DBs who can't be physical yet. And I heard that Pickens had a nice little yak play today. Milton showed more accuracy, 10 for 10 in the team period, had an incredible deep throw to Cropper. We always hear about Cropper in camp and stuff like that. Mingo was second most targeted wide receiver behind Pickens, so that's something to watch out for because we talk about Tolbert and Mingo having the opportunity to really compete with Tolbert for that wide receiver 3 spot. He caught all his targets, including one catch down the right sideline. Elam and Sanborn both win a stout PBU in coverage. Otherwise, tough day on the DB. So we keep hearing about Elam. We keep hearing about Sanborn. And I think that that's important because as they keep bringing these guys up, we keep seeing their name. Tommy Yards pretty much shared almost all of the same notes that Kyle Humans did. Now, there are some notes that I think that I read from Nick Harris where Brevin Spanford had a decent showing, and he's been having a decent showing amongst all of the. When they get the media portion, he's been having a pretty good days. And then I read somewhere, and I don't know, and I can't find it, but I heard that we've been seeing a lot of Turpin in the slot. So that's something that is very intriguing. Turpin in the slot a lot. And, I think that I heard your guy Nix, our guy BJ, say, speed guys doing speed things, and I like it. I would be lying to you guys if I said I didn't like it. I'm happy, man. Hearing some of the things from day one, watching the guys be hype and come in and be excited about things is something that is somewhat new. Typically we see business as usual when it comes with the Cowboys, but this excitement is something that, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely making me have energy. And when you have good energy is contagious. So hopefully this team can carry it on, and we can use this as something to catapult us into something greater. So appreciate y'all for stopping by. We out. Peace.